Why, hello there, everyone. This is Jm764, and well, this is a bit of a mini update video to this update video. I'll be putting this before the actual video itself, but I need to correct a few things about what you're about to see. So, I was listening to this while I was editing, and I noticed that things sounded a bit garbled when it came to my voice and everything, so I did some checking. Apparently, all my audio playback and recording settings are at, like, different bit rates. Like, if I go to this device, whoops, I clicked past it, come back, yeah, I click this, and I'll explain what these are later in the video when that starts. When I go to advanced, you can see the sample rate and bit depth. These were all at different rates and channels, and so that might have been causing it, I don't know. I also had to mess around with the microphone boost as well, which I will also explain later because that's changed too, to try to fix it. So I don't know if it's fixed or not. And the last thing is, because of my headsets, they're surround sound headsets, so I usually listen to things with the sound on, so I'll turn it on real quick. So this is what everything sounds like with my surround sound mode on. Source type is 2.0. Usually I have it on 5.1, but I turned it back to 2.0 for this. And this is it back in normal stereo mode. So I don't know if that affected it or not. I'll know once I watch this recording. I won't edit this one at all, even if it is worse than the other one. I'll be leaving that up there so y'all can tell the difference. So, hopefully it doesn't affect things too much. I'll be fixing this in addition to the other issues that I explained earlier, what am I talking about? Later in this video, earlier for me, in editing. But this has been Jm764, and I hope you watched the video, because it's pretty informative, and I'll be doing a more detailed look through it, all the stuff I used here to set it up so y'all can have your own system kind of like this. Hopefully simpler. Once I figure everything else out. Anyway, bye everyone. Why hello there everyone, this is Jm764, and well, welcome to another vidlog. So I finally finished a major project of mine, which basically entails me reworking my entire recording setup. So, just a brief recap, back in basically the last episode and a few others, I had been using a slightly modified system of my old recording setup, which originally was just my old gaming rig with a mic and everything, all on the same PC. Worked fine for me, but back then I didn't know anything really about recording. So then there was the intermediate, No, like mid, whatever you want to call it, like most of my episodes, there we go. Most of my episodes up until recently used a system where I was recording on my i7 rig, my newer one, and then taking it over to my older rig for processing and everything, due to various issues I've covered in the past, too many times to count. I won't bore you with that. So I was using basically 4 different programs to do all this, and it was a nightmare, an editing nightmare. At least for me. I mean, I know people can do stuff like that. That's a topic for another time. Anyway, so I got fed up with that. And recently, my improved mic quality, which for the record I still have the same old Corsair Vengeance 2100 headsets, not the H2100, the older model. And they served me well, but you know, I still need to buy myself a proper mic and a headset, which hopefully I'll be able to buy this month. Still waiting for that check, guys. Taking forever. Anyway, so I was using 2 computers at the same time to record, which was even more of a pain than the most of my other editing recently. But the quality, in my opinion, was far better than in the other ones. So, there was that. But obviously I got fed up using that very quickly. So then I decided, hey, Why don't I just use my main desktop for everything now that it doesn't overheat at running at 100%? So after a bit of trial and error, I think I got a setup that works for me pretty well, and you're seeing part of it right now, actually. So I'll be covering that for the rest of the video. So, starting off with my microphone and everything, I have OBS Studio 15.2 as of this recording, naturally. So, in order to get everything set up this way, I first had to decide something about editing my voice, because for this mic I have to edit it, there's no doubt about that. But I got tired of doing all this in post, so I did some research and I found a way to do all my editing in real time using Adobe Audition. Now I also upgraded everything to Audition CC because recently that class I was taking for Photoshop and everything needed Photoshop, and I decided, you know what, what's $20-something a month since I'm a student just to get all of the Creative Cloud stuff. I already had CS6 that I bought eons ago, so I might as well just use this. So I'm using Adobe Audition CC 2015, forgot what exact version, but the latest one there is. So right here, since I'm using this very convenient file made by, what's his name, Synapses, or however you pronounce that. I'll probably put a link to his channel in the description video to give him, thank him. That's all I can say, thank him. I did not want to do all this myself, it would have been terrible. So I'm using a slightly modified version of his settings. Basically, what's happening is, while I talk, it's going directly to Audition, and Audition is processing it and sending it out through a virtual cable to OBS and whatever else I need to use. So, in order to do that, I get the source directly from the Corsair Vengeance, as you can see here. It's just called default. It goes through, passes through all these effects settings, which I'm just going to show you the difference between my normal setting for my mic and the edit it real quick. This is a test of my microphone without me editing anything, and I'm pretty sure y'all don't like it. And stop. This is a test of my microphone with all the editing going on in real time, and I'm pretty sure y'all like this a lot more than my other setup. That I am sure of, or at least I hope. And that's about it, everyone. So, yeah, hopefully y'all can hear the quality difference. I plan to not edit any of this out. Hopefully that all goes well. If not, you will see very, very soon. So it does all that, and then it goes directly into OBS down here, which is mic aux 1, which just says mic aux. Now, one thing I am doing compared to in here is amplifying the edited sound, as amplifying it in here amplifies the natural static, and that doesn't sound nearly as good as amplifying it in OBS, which amplifies most of the edited stuff. It still generates some more static too, but not nearly as bad from my testing. So if I go to filters right here, you can see I have my mic boost up to about 5 decibels. Anything higher than that just kind of breaks my volume, sadly, and I have to edit it, which takes time. Pulling all this back up. So once it's done doing all that, I have to put it through a program called VB Audio Virtual Cable. Very, very useful. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. And also be putting down the cost for all this, because it is not cheap, that I can assure you. I had to take this out of my own personal funds, so, you know, I have a Patreon, but that's up to y'all. But I'm just saying, you know, just a suggestion. Anyway, so it goes through the cable input into OBS, like I said. So that's all good and dandy. Well, fine and dandy. But my biggest problem is getting everything else in here working properly, because this is the part I have the biggest trouble with. So right now we're listening to music, most notably from Multi-Tycoon 2, and this song in particular is actually a real copyrighted song, now that I think about it. That just ended. So, I'll be covering that too today, because thankfully I have a solution for that. Because it'll probably get changed if this video gets copyrighted. So, oopsie. Anyway, so I have Windows Media Player going through its own virtual device, which would be this voice meter input thing, and this thing. Oh, this was fun to set up. Basically, I have 3 virtual audio devices going through this one virtual audio device, and I'm just gonna say it's probably a terrible idea, but it works for me. So this is virtual audio cable A. This is what I use for things like TeamSpeak and Skype, so I can have all those on its own audio channel. And for some weird reason, it wasn't letting me do this in OBS directly, because right now the desktop audio is what it should be, but for some weird reason it wasn't letting me do it at all. So I had to edit a few things to get it to work. So now that has its, I think it's desktop audio, if I remember right. No, I'm sorry, I got everything confused. I think it's mic aux 2. Let me test that real quick. And I'll probably have to edit this because I didn't plan to do this live when I'm recording this. But here we go. Okay, so my mistake. It was mic aux 3, so that one was set up correctly. I think desktop audio. Oh yeah, sorry. Desktop audio is actually Windows Media Player that's running right now, and this is for the games and everything. For some reason, the whole point of Voice Meter originally was to do all this by hand in the streams, but for some reason, the other outputs weren't working correctly with that. And a quick explanation of Voice Meter: where it says A, that means it's going directly into my headset. Where it says B, means it's going to my headset. I'm sorry, it's actually going to the output that y'all will hear in the video. So these, you can't hear directly, even though they're on, because they're going directly to my headset and not to the recording. This, which was TeamSpeak, that went directly to the recording. So that's the kind of setup I have. I really just want to use this for everything, especially in streams. That would be stupidly helpful, because I can just leave all my volumes on max and adjust them individually, which is very, very helpful, obviously. In recording, it is a nightmare, because again, it takes me back to the old days of everything going into one channel, which is why I have 4 for the OBS. So basically, I got all this set up for 3 different things. Then, I have another audio channel, which I'll pause the Windows Media Player music, and I'll turn on the Winamp music. This channel is really for just the media players, so when I'm playing on a live stream or something, y'all can hear that music. So here's some music from Just Jackrabbit. So there's that. Going back to the other songs. So that's what I plan to use during the stream, that kind of stuff. And that's originally what this was for. One was for the voice. Well, my voice should already be heard. But this one would control the volume, so everyone isn't talking over me if I am using TeamSpeak or Skype. And this one was for the music player in case I'm playing a game with a ton of copyrighted music, like Need for Speed. The worst part is I actually lost the footage for that, so I can't even edit that live stream anymore, which sucks, because I explained a lot of stuff that really would have helped if I thought about this kind of stuff beforehand. But yeah, I should have fine control over that. I just gotta figure out this, because the way OBS works is, even though I have these profiles, which are grayed out right now, I have a recording profile and a stream profile. The stream profile only needs 2 audio, the desktop and the mic, the desktop being all of this combined when I get it working right. And then that, because in a live stream I'm pretty sure what I'm using. I will be smart enough to make sure there's nothing wrong with copyright, and all I have to do is adjust it dynamically using this for all the other volumes. But obviously for recording, to have very fine-tuned control over everything, I have to have it at 4 channels, so I can edit that. So I'll give you an example real quick of what I mean. This is Adobe Premiere CC 2015.3, keep that in mind. And for the next couple of seconds, I'm going to show you what I mean about my new recording setup. So what you're hearing now from this live recording that I'm doing right now is basically the way I'm recorded earlier. So, well, here we go. So this is what it sounds like when everything's being recorded together. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 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 1, 2, 3, testing. Alright, so that was all 4 channels going at the same time, different volumes, not balanced or anything. So, here's what everything sounds like with each individual channel, starting with channel 1, which is desktop audio. In this case, it was Windows Media Player playing a Sega Genesis remix of City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2. So as you can see, I can just already single out channels themselves. So here is my voice by itself for this recording as well. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 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 1, 2, 3. So that's just me, and as you can see, with just these 2 channels alone, stupidly powerful. I mean, it makes recording a breeze considering these 2 channels will be my main ones, especially for live streams if I have to edit them. So, it's beautiful. The only problem with this setup so far is I'll go back to OBS. As you can see in the mixer here, for recording, I separated all 4, so nothing overlaps. But for stream, all 4 overlap on the same channel. So I'm trying to figure out a way to do that somehow where I can still have the mic split off from the main channel so I can edit. But that's something I'll fix much later because this setup should be fine. Anyway, here's track 3, which is TeamSpeak, I believe. Actually, no, I think this is the media players. Yeah, so this would be basically WinApp and Windows Media Player. There we go. And finally, the 4th channel, which is things like TeamSpeak and Skype. So when I edit that.
Testing your playback sound system. Testing your playback sound system.
Now, as you can see, out of all 4 channels, this one was the lowest for TeamSpeak, and I'm really trying to find a way if I can boost that because it's very, very low. And it also presents a problem here because I can't boost it in this. So here, to me, it sounds fine when everything's balanced out, but again, in OBS, due to the way things are recorded, I have to edit it here, which is much different. So I'll see if I can figure out a way to do that. But I'll give a few examples of like my voice and the TeamSpeak voice going together real quick. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. And I'll lower this. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, testing. So there's a test of that. And then the music in my voice, which would be the game and my voice together. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 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 1, 2, 3, testing, 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 1, 2, 3, testing, test. So this is what I've been up to basically, and I'll return the music now. I really do love this setup. I'm so glad I figured most of this out. But again, it's just a big, big pain with these tiny little issues that are left over. Hopefully I can figure them out, and I can get some better recordings out. But yeah, I think that's really about it for this vlog. It's pretty long, almost 18 minutes. And obviously all these changes go to my secondary channel as well. So this has been Jm764, and well, I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone.